Greg, every year the NFL draft is full of twists and turns and a lot of surprises. But this year, things seem to go as planned. Well, that was until the hometown Bengals selected.
With the 10th choice in the 2002 draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Levi Jones, tackle from Arizona State.
They're the Bengals.
Whoa, that's a whoa.
It's a curveball.
Yeah, while the initial reaction from the folks at ESPN was far from positive, some further investigation shows that maybe the pick wasn't so crazy after all. Just last month, Mel Kiper had Jones going to Jacksonville with the 9th pick, while other recent mock drafts had Jones going to the Giants at number 15.
He's a good pick for us. He fits us. He's an offensive tackle. That's a spot where we need some shoring up for the long range.
When I saw this man block, and I can envision Corey Dillon with the ball under his arm and this guy making point of attack and cut off blocks on the backside, there was no way that I was unattracted to this player. I think he's a very, very welcome addition to our franchise.
You can take the top 3 tackles, and I talked to virtually every line coach in the league, and there were a handful of them that had 1, 2 the way they went. Virtually everyone had Jones second.
Levi Jones is a good football player, potentially. But at 10, I mean, you're talking about a guy that maybe could have gone at one point maybe to Jacksonville if they were looking left tackle. But if I'm Cincinnati and I got needs elsewhere, I'm moving down.
The Bengals, in fact, did get some calls from teams wanting to move up. But in the end, the team just didn't find the right offer.
It's hard to pass up left tackles. I mean, they are, you know, it's an old cliche about you win games up front. But you really do. I mean, if you don't have a solid offensive line, you struggle.
Nearly 5 hours later, the Bengals took Washington State safety Lamont Thompson with the 41st pick in the 2nd round. The 6'3", 225-pound Thompson was 2nd in the nation in interceptions, and he also runs the 40-yard dash in 4.4 seconds.
He's had 24 career interceptions, had 10 this year, including 2 in the bowl game they had postseason. They also had one in the East-West game. So this guy has a real knack for making plays.
We're getting a big play safety, a guy that's going to come in. We feel he's going to help us out right away. He brings a lot of assets to this football team. He's a big play safety that when you put on the film, this guy can make some plays on the football.
In the 3rd round, the Bengals traded up to get the tight end that they wanted, Matt Schobel out of Texas Christian University.
We were obviously looking forward to getting this young man enough so that we traded our 5th round pick to go up to get him.
He is going to challenge to start immediately. He's going to make an impact as a receiver immediately. Defenses are going to have to account for this guy.
So that'll wrap up day 1 as the Bengals make their first 3 selections in the 2002 NFL Draft. But stay tuned, because coming up a little bit later on, we're going to have more from the 2002 NFL Draft from right here at Paul Brown Stadium. For now, I'm Chris Ralston. Let's go back to Greg in the studio.
Thank you, Chris. We're looking forward to it. Otherwise, in this draft, the top pick, well, that was a foregone conclusion. Expansion Houston Texans take Fresno State quarterback David Carr, and they make him a very wealthy young man. Very wealthy. If he achieves all his incentives, he'll make $60 million over the next 7 years. Why do the Texans like him so much? Well, he reminds a lot of folks of Troy Aikman. One stat for you, last year he threw the ball 533 times. He had just 9 picks and 17 batted balls. Rounding out the top 10, number 2, Carolina picks UNC's Julius Peppers, 6'7", 285. Detroit takes Joey Harrington out of Oregon. Some people feel he'll end up being the best quarterback in the draft. At number 4, the Bills go for offensive tackle Mike Williams out of Texas, 6'5", 380. He's an earth mover. The Chargers take Longhorn corner Quentin Jammer with a 5th pick. The Chiefs trade up to get the 6th pick and take Carolina defensive tackle Ryan Sims. At 7, the Vikes select offensive tackle Bryant McKinney out of Miami. Didn't allow a sack in his 2 years with the Canes. The Cowboys got the guy I liked at 8, safety Roy Williams out of Oklahoma. At 9, the Jags take defensive tackle John Anderson, 6'7", 315, a ball. And then it was the Bengals at 10, taking Levi Jones. Get this, Jones went to Arizona State on an academic scholarship and walked on as a 225-pound defensive lineman. He is now 6'6".
He's trying to strengthen themselves in the draft. They address some needs and make a few surprise moves. And give him credit for even making a trade. Later, we're going to ask you to grade their draft. But first, let's look at the newcomers. Everybody's talking about the Bengals' top pick. Left tackle Levi Jones, 6'5", 304 pounds from Arizona State. A surprise pick, but the Bengals had him rated equally with the other 2 tackles picked ahead of him, Mike Williams and Bryant McKinney. Jones could become an important fixture on that line for many years to come.
When he can help us win better than Richmond, who does a fine job, then he'll be in there. And it's all about trying to win the game on Sunday, period. You know, it's not about anything else. And when will that happen? Might happen soon.
Now the Bengals fly their #1 pick from into Paul Brown Stadium today, and the voice of the Bengals sports director Brad Johansson was there to greet him.
I was shocked that it was number 10, but I knew Cincinnati was interested. And I mean, I've talked to the coach a number of times throughout that whole week, and he was asking a lot of questions. So I sensed that he was fairly interested in the situation was possible.
Coming to a team that hasn't won in 12 years, bother you?
No, I mean, this is a program that's on a rebuild, and it's going to be good things coming out of this organization. I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Everybody says a number 10 pick should come in and start right off the bat. You're following Richmond Webb. Do you believe you should come in and start right off the bat?
I'm a player that likes to earn his keep, so I want to come in here, get the work done, and correct what I need to correct. And if the situation happens, I'll be ready for it. If it doesn't, I'll be ready for that as also.
Give me your greatest strength.
Greatest strength, probably work ethic. I'm a player that obviously I have a lot of natural ability, a lot of talent, a lot of speed, but what separates me from the rest is that I will work hard as I can to correct any problems that I have.
Better run blocker or pass blocker?
Pretty efficient at both.
You're the first-round pick. Always seems to be a problem in signing a first-round pick. How difficult will it be to sign you and get you into camp on day 1?
I don't feel it'd be difficult at all. I mean, my agent is one that likes to get contracts negotiated. He obviously knows that me for an offensive lineman, it is important that I'm there the first day, and I'm learning the scheme. I mean, it'll just put me in a better situation.
Defensively. Thanks, Brad. The Bengals' second pick, free safety Lamont Thompson, was a mainstay in Washington State secondary. He holds the school and Pac-10 conference career record with 24 interceptions. That's good news to the Bengals, who could move Corey Hall, the strong safety, to start Thompson.
So this guy has a real knack for making plays when the ball's in flight. He also led their team in tackles, which talks about, the physicality of the player.
I'm real pleased with the decision that people in the front office has made, is picking me and going to the organization, and just make the most out of my opportunity.
Now in the 3rd and 4th rounds, the Bengals draft competition for starting spots. Tony McGee and Neil Rackers beware. The Bengals trade with Carolina to get TCU's Matt Schobel, a tight end, all-conference USA selection. He's a good blocker with speed who finished his career with 27 receptions for 378 yards and 5 TDs. Also important, Schobel served as the team's holder for placements and field goals.
This guy is athletic, tough, big. He can catch. He's got as good a hands as anyone in the draft. He will be an impact as a receiver his first year.
Purdue kicker Travis Dorsch is the Bengals' 4th-round selection. Word has it that unless he has a terrible training camp, Rackers may be booted out of here for Dorsch. He won the Ray Guy Award as the nation's top punter last season. He set a Big Ten record with 68 field goals in 4 seasons.
Neil Rackers has a powerful, strong leg also. His ball's a little flatter. This kid has a powerful leg, but the ball gets up. So we'll have time to get underneath the football this year, which is a little tough sometimes a year ago.
Now, the Bengals had traded away their 5th-round pick to get Schobel, so that leaves just 2 more picks to tell you about. The Bengals' 6th-rounder, Florida safety Marquand Manuel. He comes from a big family, one of 18 children, and has played in big-time games. The '99 Orange Bowl, started the 2000 Citrus Bowl, 2001 Sugar Bowl, and 2002 Orange Bowl. Marquand has 308 career tackles, 8 quarterback sacks, and 6 interceptions.
Anytime you come out of a big program like that, the competition that you have not only in the games but in practice, the speed that you face in the SEC with the Tennessees and the LSU. I mean, this guy, I mean, every week you're gonna get challenged, and he was a 3-year starter for him down at Florida, and you don't start down there for 3 years if you can't play.
Julius Peppers to give North Carolina the premier pass rushing tandem in the ACC. The first-year starter is quick off the line, finishing his career with 114 tackles and 13.5 sacks. The knock on Evans is that he lacks stamina.
We think that he'll come in and do a good job of challenging and helping this team defensively, adding speed, quickness, and youth to our defensive line.
He's a good player for us. He will fit the role in our defensive line, which I mean by that is he will come in and roll at the position that we feel fit is best for him. Defensive end, 3 technique, outside, whatever is the best fit.
Now you know all the Bengals picks, and tonight you make the call. Overall, how would you grade the Bengals draft? A, B, C, or fail? Call 345-1212. Lines are open right now. We want your vote, and we'll have results later in the show. Hey, sorry, Bengal fans. The New England Patriots finally pulled the trigger on a Drew Bledsoe deal. The Patriots shipped the quarterback to the Buffalo Bills for their first-round pick in next year's draft. And former Beechwood and UC punter Adam Wolfick signs as a free agent with the Chiefs tonight. Also, former Highlands and UK tight end Derek Smith hooks on with the Colts. Now, some other players with local interest to tell you about. That's UC cornerback LeVar Glover. He told me the Bengals and Niners had showed a lot of interest in him, but it's the Steelers who chose him with the first pick in the 7th round. Number 212, selecting Glover to come to Pittsburgh.
I started to think what did I do wrong, or what don't teams like, you know. So I really started to focus on myself, like, wow, I don't care about nobody else. What did I do? And man, I did something, because I'm the only corner that the Pittsburgh Steelers picked up today.
And former St. Xavier Notre Dame linebacker Rocky Boyman was selected by Tennessee in the 4th round, 133.
Writing on the wall before he got cut by the Bengals today, which will save the team $1.3 million. The 9-year vet is 7th on the Bengals all-time reception list and the only tight end on the roster to play in an NFL game. It's left to the rookies, Sean Brewer and Matt Schobel.
It was just the right time. It was just the right time for him and for us, and it also gives the new tight ends the opportunity now to go into mini camp without that veteran here, so that they know who they're competing against.
Gus Frerotte wants a chance to win the starting quarterback job. The Bengals say he will get that, and money will not be an object. So it appears the Bronco backup QB, now living in Pittsburgh, must decide if he wants to move his family to Cincinnati or head back to Denver. The decision is likely to come by